My name is Tyler McHenry, and I've been considered a miracle child since the day I was born. I have two older cousins who lived with their teen years in our home who I considered sisters. We were raised by my biological parents. Before I was born, my mom lost 4 pregnancies. When I was being delivered, the umbilical cord was wrapped around my neck and I was choking, so they decided to do a C-section. I was born and am the only child of my mother and father, and the only grandson of my maternal grandparents. My maternal family heritage has been told to me multiple times by my mom and abuelita. My abuelo Parra was my grandfather, and he was a very hard worker, and he had 5 children before meeting my abuela Luz. So my abuela gladly adopted and married Parra, then had 2 kids, Mimi and Rebecca being my mom. My aunt Mimi had a child named Sandra. When Sandra turned 9, Mimi passed away, sadly, from cancer, and her dad passed away as well. So my mother decided to adopt her sister's child and raise her. My mom adopted her sister Cristina's child as well, named Lily, and my mom adopted her when she came to the U.S. When my mom was 24, she tried to escape Cuba, but she was captured and imprisoned for a week. When she turned 26, she tried again, this time successfully escaping. She made it to the U.S., and my mom got a job at a call center in Missouri. When she was 30, she met my dad, and they got married in 1998. And in the year 2005, I was born. And here's a picture of me when I was around 7 years old. This is a picture of me when I was around 7 years old. Alright. The history I know of my father's side of the family goes back to my great-grandmother. And all I know about her is that she was really nice. She died 3 years before I was born. My grandma and grandpa were both school teachers. My grandpa taught the 5th and the 6th grade, while my grandma taught high school girls PE. They had 2 children, Robert and Aaron. My dad is Aaron. Robert married Lori and had 1 son as well, and his name is Andrew. Andrew and I are best friends since birth. We grew up together in the same neighborhood until I moved when I was 7 years old. Andrew and I enjoy all the same things: video games, sports, movies, music, piano, food, and talking on the phone about all sorts of things. Even though I moved from Kansas City to Dallas in 2015, we still talk every day and haven't grown apart at all. Although the family history of both sides of my family is very different and unique in their own ways, the spiritual history of my family is quite similar. Both of my parents are Adventists, and each only had 1 Adventist parent. My dad's father was Adventist since birth, and my mom's mother was Adventist since birth. Both my parents have non-Adventist siblings, but it doesn't cause any conflict between them. I was born into the most Adventist part of my family possible, because my parents are the only 2 Adventists in their generation of the family still alive. I was baptized when I was 9 years old, and we have mostly attended Spanish-speaking congregations. Pathfinders was a big part of my involvement in the church and has helped me learn a lot about God, nature, and friendships. I attended church every Sabbath, and this is a blessing. My school history is interesting. I've attended 7 schools in my life, but I've moved a few more times and didn't have to change schools. Growing up, I would get in trouble in school quite often, and I didn't really settle down until about the 7th grade, more or less. My favorite teacher ever was my 3rd grade teacher, Mrs. Berg. She understood me more than any other teacher ever. When I would struggle and I'd take a nap, she wouldn't yell at me like any of the other teachers would, and she would respect me and give me my space. Math and science have always been my favorite subjects because I'm more of a left brain. I think it's left brain because I look at everything analytically. I'm more of an analytical person. And I have played school sports since the 7th grade. But I've been playing sports since before 7th grade, but I didn't start playing school sports since the 7th grade. I've been playing sports my whole life. Basketball is my favorite and best sport. I practice every day, and I am a member of the CTA varsity basketball team. I strive to be my best and take every extra workout I can and opportunity I can to work on my game and practice so I can be better, because I have an unmatched love for the sport. In my leisure time, I enjoy playing video games with my cousin. We stay up late. We play games every weekend. I don't play during the week because I have to focus on school. We also create music. My cousin's a producer for beats, so I'll just make songs to the beats that he makes. And I also like following professional sports like the NBA and the NFL. My favorite NFL team being the Kansas City Chiefs, and my favorite NBA team being the Oklahoma City Thunder. One of my most exciting moments ever was going to my first ever Kansas City Chiefs NFL game with my dad. I remember the game not vividly, vaguely, and the Chiefs were playing the Chargers, and the best player on the team was Jamal Charles, and he goes, and on the last play of the game, he gets a run to the left side, and he fumbles the ball, and the Chiefs lose the game tragically. And the Chiefs ended up losing the game, but it was an incredible experience. And in terms of personal strengths and weaknesses, I would have to say my best quality is my loyalty to family, friends, and classmates. My number one rule that I've applied to my life is always put family first, and then put God first and family second, and be loyal to them and always trust them. If I want to go to anybody with my problems, I would want to go to my family. I trust my family more than anybody else in this world. And my biggest weakness is my often sarcastic and negative attitude, because I have a tendency that I'll say things and I'll just start getting sarcastic, very unnecessary sarcasm. And my biggest and best decision I've made in my life so far is being a Christian and a soldier of the Lord. Because without God in life, there's nothing that you can really like. There's nothing there. God is the sole purpose we live, and we want to go live forever, because we were not created to die. We were created to live forever. And the family I was born into, I am very grateful for, and the history of my family has taught me a lot about myself and how grateful I should be for all my ancestors. I carry on what they left behind through me every day, and I will do my best to be the best version of myself, not just for me, but for them too. Thank you.